Welcome to The Prize Inside. The Prize Inside. A chiropractor's journey in everyday holistic health and vitality. Here, your host, Dr. Jeremy Myers, delves into the remarkable journeys of everyday people who have embraced the path to health and healing. Through his practice, Dr. Jeremy encounters inspiring stories of profound transformation and the power of true healing within each of us. Stay tuned as we discuss various holistic topics and unlock the healing potential that lies within us all.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Sadie. Sadie, did you miss me? How are you, kid? Did you have a good Christmas?
Good.
Yeah. Did you get a pickle? Did you get a pickle? No?
She got a pickle.
You got a pickle? That's awesome. That is perfect. That is perfect. So how are you guys? I know
We're good.
It's been
I know, it's been a while.
We've been rolling though. It's okay.
Good.
It's going to be a fun one tonight, so it'll be good. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, last week's was really cool. So, by that way, if you missed last week's, I'm going to go into the comment section. Let me do this real quick before we start. So, Rumble. I just got to get our channel, like how to do that. Like my channel. This one, and then I'm gonna put this in the comments. But
Okay.
I thought last week's was we did vertigo.
Oh yeah.
And the amount of stuff that I researched and like it came up as like, holy smokes! I wasn't ready for the deep dive. I was like, I've always done them, but I've always thought, okay, I'll just listen to everyone else and the crystals and what you find is very interesting as you go. So the crystals were, when we have too many crystals, we create calcium carbonate. And the one reason what was happening was a lot of my osteoporotic women were getting it because they take a lot of calcium because they're osteoporotic. So what was happening was that calcium was building up. That's why in our office, even we're seeing like a lot of ladies that may take too much calcium, right, without the other stuff. So like if your vitamin D is low, if your copper is low, if your magnesium is low, then that calcium doesn't have anywhere to go, makes more crystals. And then when you turn your head to the side, these little crystals come out of this little gel and then go into the tubes that are basically your gyroscope. And that's what causes it. And so we kept thinking, all right, why chiropractically can you do, when you adjust them, you're actually helping their forward head posture go back.
Yeah.
And that resets your tubes. The other one is why does that Epley's maneuver work so well? And the reason is because it's moving those crystals around to get them out of the tube they're not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. If you watch it, it's like, I nerded out on it.
Yeah.
You people watch it.
I feel like I have several people that are always saying, oh, my vertigo is really bad today or whatever. So if I can pass along that information to them and then they can, so how do you prevent that from happening? Like once you kind of get
so
through
what
it.
you have to do is almost like reduce calcium and everything like right away, right? So that you're not taking excess calcium and then getting your magnesium, getting this one called the copper and those kind of things back up to the right level. So your body starts balancing that out. Once those crystals, then what happens is typically it's about 14 days. People will go through that, but you're trying to stop it from happening again. Right. So you might be in that process until those crystals get out of those little tubes. Right. I'm trying to think of something mechanical that it was amazing. Like the tubes in there were so fascinating because they have 3 different gyroscope. Let me look. I'll show you. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm off topic. I know, but you're used to me.
Yeah.
We went through all this stuff. Let's see if I have a good picture. Dang it. Oh, it was in the video. That's right.
Oh,
Okay. I'll have to show you later. But
yeah, I'll go back and watch it.
yeah, so let me get this off. Sweet. But yeah, anyway, so it was totally awesome. Like I the amount of information that we kind of like figured out a few places to go were fantastic. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so that was good. So let me start with what we found this week as far as information. Oh, by the way, on Wednesday night, about this time, I might go 9. I'm thinking 9-ish. That might put Amy out, but she might not make it. I know her. So I might go 9 with new this way. It won't be 1% tribe, it'll be the prize inside. But what we're gonna do is go through all the newest articles of health and kind of discern it via chiropractic philosophy. So I see that as a need. Your top stories in the world, and then I'm watching people constantly go. Tonight is one of those, that ashwagandha is a very big topic in the TikTok and Facebook and those kind of things. And it's not a bad thing to be a hot topic. It's just, how do you use it?
Yeah, that's the key.
Right. That's the part. Or, like we used to see it all the time. The amount of detoxes that made people sick like over the years were a little intense, because over time people would do these detoxes not knowing what the end result would be. So that's another one that's could be huge for us, so as we go. Okay. So this one is cool. So these are different ways to do fermented foods that are not gross. So if you have problems with like making it like I love to make them, you don't have to. There's stuff actually in the store, and I never think about these. A lot of more organic stores will have this stuff, but some good tasting ones are kefir, right? Greek yogurt, sauerkraut, obviously, if you like it. Kimchi is really good. Miso is like a Mexican, little spicy there. I don't know what tempeh is. I'm gonna have to try it.
That is, I feel like it's some kind of tofu or something, I want to say, or made with beans or sprouts or something.
Yeah, and some of those are really, really good. Like so a lot of times, using it as a base of some sort could be really good. Kombucha is fantastic. There's tons of good companies making that. You just got to make sure all the active ingredients are in there, right? So pickles are really hard to find, like truly fermented pickles. I've had some really good batches, some really crappy batches. And a lot of times it's based on your ferment experience. More you can ferment pickles and not use vinegar, right? And so that's a big key to that whole thing. But there are tougher. They are much tougher, I think. Got to pay attention a lot more.
Yeah.
Sauerkraut, you don't have to pay attention that much. So here's one that I didn't think of that is out there. Cottage cheese.
What?
Yes. Cottage cheese is actually a fermented food, but you have to find ones with active ingredients instead of just the stuff we normally do. That's game changer stuff for me, man. I am a cottage cheese guy.
Oh, yeah.
And the next one, aged cheeses. So like aged cheeses, if you get some active, that makes sense, right?
That makes sense,
and a lot of them have the lactobacilli in it. So the lactobacilli is the one that we want to kind of bring back our lactose abilities.
Yeah.
Okay? Buttermilk's another one. So baking with that could be good. My daughter will love this sourdough bread, and that's a real one. She's getting really good at those.
Yeah.
They're hard to do, but they have a lot of good. They have some probiotics in it, so that's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
Dark chocolate. Some have actual active ingredient fermented food, probiotics in them.
Yep.
Fermented garlic. That's never a wrong thing on that one. So those are some ideas of just when you hear fermented foods, don't start grossing out, like right away, we should just jump on that bad boy.
That tempeh, how do you say it? Tempeh?
Yeah.
It's fermented soybeans.
What?
Yeah, I just looked up. It's it's that Indonesian fermented soybeans. It comes in like a cake.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
people were
sweet.
it's similar to tofu. I think they cook it like tofu.
Nice. I like that a lot. Okay, we can live with that. I think that'll be a good Kickstarter for us in that sense, right? So that'll be sweet. Okay. So, the next one. The next one's a little controversial there. This one is it's called dimethyl sulfoxide. I'm not telling you to take it. I'm telling you to do your own discernment, and obviously nothing I tell you you should take, just my ideas. But it's called DMSO. There's a lot of research coming out that this could be a really, really good thing for your skin. There's a very, very good, nice, natural product for your skin. I have to do more research on it to understand it a little bit more before I say, oh, yeah, do that. But the next one, so that was one of the articles. And the last one is one that I'm super pumped about this week because I just saw the article come out. A friend of ours that comes to the office, he is a very, very special guy named Tim. He's an ophthalmologic equipment salesman, and he's fantastic. And he told me about this like 3 months ago, and I'm like freaking out. So the cold laser, the frequency laser, the cold laser we have in the office, okay, does a lot of anti-inflammatory inflammation situations, pain reduction, gets the cells of the mitochondria kind of kick-started. That is being studied for macular degeneration. And what he said that was amazing is that the certain frequency that he was watching was getting 99 to 100% of macular degeneration reversed. And I just came across, I know they haven't released it yet, obviously, but he saw it. And then he said this like 6 months ago. And I just saw the article. They're starting to talk about that. So the cold laser therapy, which we probably should do maybe one of these presentations on like how it all works. But a cold laser therapy, a lot of times is all about the frequency of healing, right? So that frequency of healing allows those cells to kind of get in there. That's why we went with it, because nature needs no help. They just need no interference. And when you get this situation going where we're improving the health, we're trying to get to those health, maybe there's a chance for this macular degeneration to have some chance, which
did he say there's wet and dry? Like I think my grandma has wet. Does it matter what kind?
Yeah, this one, the study that I was looking at was dry.
Oh.
So, but that being said, it's all about the cellular improvement. And so based on that, you probably will be okay with both. So we'll have to see how the study turns out, but that would be absolutely amazing. One of my other little sweetheart patients is blind from that years ago. She's about 3-4 years ago. I love that family, but Nancy is, hopefully one day I'll get her on here. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And how she's adapted to that blindness, her and her husband. Can't get out as much anymore, but she's still healthy as all get out. So that's always awesome. But yeah. So anyway, so let's start talking about ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, it's cool. Like my office manager, Gina, hopefully she's on here because she got me kind of kick-started. She is my trendy person for social media. There is no doubt that she's going to know something on TikTok or the YouTube, whatever it is, especially in this world. I'm going to know about it. And I'm going to be like, oh, that was trending because Gina's talking about it. So that was, and that's a good thing. Like I want to know like what people are talking about. But ashwagandha is one of my favorites, and we'll go through what we, maybe Amy and I will probably go back and talk about a lot of those. If you go back to our old videos, and that's where that Rumble channel is super, and I think they're all on there. If they're not all on there, they're in our Substack. Okay. So in the Substack, Let me write that down too. That's where you get our email list. .tribe1. All right. So this is a place where you can sign up for our email list, but they're also in there is all the videos. Okay. So in that realm, what we want to know, like each one, every herb has an action. Every herb has a category of what they do. And ashwagandha is in one of my favorites for all the 1% tribe and everything else. And that is the adaptogens. So the adaptogens are one of my favorites, and that's what we'll go over tonight. All right. So let's talk about this amazing herb. I have it as a tea tonight. It's here. Right there. It's not as tincture. I ran out, so I use it a lot. So I only had one tea bag. I'm a 2 tea bag kind of guy. Like it's very weak.
I went
It's
to
been sleeping for a while, but
I went to Horrocks today to get more tea, and they didn't have hardly any loose leaf tea, hardly any
they
at
didn't?
all. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So I got
Man.
this Fraser tea brand. It's organic, whatever. It was super expensive, so I'm hoping it's good. But I got chamomile. It tastes really good.
Right. Well, and that's the hardest part is like you definitely want to make sure that you get something you don't the teas are so good in just introducing yourself to it, like letting your body kind of do those kind of things. In town here, there's a Apple Valley, and there's something cool I'm gonna show everybody tonight that I am so excited about. Amy, you already know about it, but a way to get a lot of these things that are already vetted. Actually, I'll put it in there now and we'll talk about it as well. So we found a game changer place. Let's see if it'll work. Oh, where's it at? Oh, okay. So we found a website that you actually get to communicate with us. Plus, not only that, all of these things are vetted by 20 naturopaths over the thing, and one of them happens to be my teacher, Dr. Lowdog. They vet the actual like supplementation that goes in here. Each company there's lots of different options that way. So I wanted to put that out there because it's so worth. This is a place you can get a lot of those teas, and a lot of times it goes like Amazon. It's really fast. It's very efficient. Because you could be searching around, like Amy and I we're very spoiled. Horrocks is like beautiful for that kind of stuff, and it has these nice loose leaf teas. Tell me text me later. I'll bring you one if you want, because I take up their stock usually.
Well, yeah, even they'll have it like pre-bagged, but then they also have the jars, and they had like a lot of pumpkin spice. And then like, I don't know, maybe 2 other ones, but man, it was just almost completely, they had a really good chamomile one that has some other fruits in it or something, but they didn't have crap.
Yeah. It's probably they could probably get hammered.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure. But eventually they'll be back stocked up. I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that loose leaf stuff is fantastic. And it's a really good way to introduce yourself to all this herbal, just nutrition in general, just switching that up. Right. So let's talk about some ashwagandha. What are we going over tonight? What is ashwagandha and what can it do for you? Where does this fit in to this like chiropractic lifestyle we keep talking about? What is an adaptogen? And what are some other alternatives that, let's say, for some reason you don't like ashwagandha? Okay. So there are other ones called adaptogens. Ashwagandha just happened to take off based on what I'm going to show you. Okay. So sometimes when a study comes out and they see a lot of good things, they latch on, but remember, it's in a category called adaptogens. All right. So let's talk about what an adaptogen is. Okay. So adaptogen is a non-toxin. It's always non-toxic typically. increases non-specific defenses in the body and has a normalizing effect on the body. It helps the body adapt to stress, physical, mental, environmental. Helps regulate the neuroendocrine and immune systems. Okay. So it's the go for every piece of stress that me and Amy talk about every day. Thoughts, toxins, trauma, right? It is good for all of those things. That's why it's such a neat herb. It's such a neat tea, tincture, all those kind of things. This is one where you're not taking it for any specifics other than you want to be a better person cellularly. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
you're just taking it just for overall health. It's like you're starting a workout regimen. This is a great herb to start doing that. You're like, well, I don't have a headache today, right? Don't take it for that. You don't have to. You can take it for this. And that's what's so neat about it. One of the biggest studies, though, that they found lately is that it's really good for stress and anxiety. It has this ability to lower cortisol levels, which helps manage stress and reduce anxiety. It's very good for the high stress job, like the high stress individual should be like thinking about that, which is kind of, I always say there's a lot of very big population of high stress individuals, but that high cortisol level is one of the reasons our cells start to age. They start to have conditions. It's all those kind of things. And if I can give you a tool tonight that'll let you chill on that. Here's another one that's fantastic. The other one that's studied recently, but it improves sleep quality. Now, don't think this is like it's going to start that night, right? It's the study. Several studies suggest it helps improve the quality of the sleep, especially in people who have insomnia or stress-related sleep disturbance. So it's the people that overthink and they fall asleep and their brain doesn't shut off, those kind of things. So really good, really, really good herb overall. And we're just starting on the benefits of this thing. So there's enhanced focus and cognitive function. It says, and some of these are from people. It's not exactly studied yet, but this is what most of the, what the intake is. So some report says that helps with focus, concentration, and overall mental function. This one's kind of interesting. It increases muscle strength and recovery. But if you think of like what I told you what an adaptogen is, it's basically it's not focusing on one cell of your body or one organ of your body. It's giving your body almost, it's helping it de-stress from all these things. It makes sense that it would help strength and recovery after you've stressed out your muscles, right? Libido enhancement, not studied totally, but it was in there. This one is the big one that I really enjoy. The immune system and anti-inflammatory effects. It does do that. It has a very good immune system modulation, because if your immune system is staying at a good level where it's not stressed out, remember how it works. If your body has this high cortisol level, that means your body's stressed. Well, your immune system's constantly active. If I drop that cortisol down to a level where your body's like normalized, then the cells of the immune system can go out and do what it's supposed to versus being on high alert and looking for something else. So that's really good. Blood sugar regulation. Some studies show it might help with some managing blood sugar levels, which is cool. And then reproductive health. This is good. Well, especially in men, it's meant to improve sperm quality, count, and motility. But when you take an herb that is a full body overall health improving type mechanism, you get all these things. So there's not a lot of times where I'm going to go through each herb. Now that I understand, man, I got a few more. Well, I got a few more hours, and then I can call myself like a clinical herbal. Oh, I can't wait.
Well, get on it. What's taking so long?
I know. I'm so excited. It's a journey, man. This one's good. That's what's so fun about this stuff. But But when you take an adaptogen and it's affecting all the areas of your body, the only thing that you're going to do is enhance all the areas of your body. I think of it like taking a good multivitamin. You're not taking it because, your shoulder hurts. You're taking a multivitamin to make sure your cells of your human body have all the things. You're living true health versus some kind of condition, if that makes sense. So we have to get to that place where we're doing that in our world. All right. Okay. So let's look.
Can I add one thing real quick? When you were talking about high cortisol levels, like stressful jobs and stressful situations, another reason for high cortisol levels in women is menopause, perimenopause, menopause.
Oh,
So
true.
ashwagandha is always recommended as a supplement if you're trying to regulate your hormones naturally.
Well, and that's the coolest thing is I forgot about that. And that's a big one because you stop sleeping. You think you're crazy.
There's a long ass list.
There's plenty of lists for that one.
That can be a whole nother Sunday night.
But what's fascinating in the herbal world is the, in the natural health world, there's so much you can do. You have to be very patient with it. A lot more patient than it feels like you want to be because of how big some of those situations are or the actions of your body. So yeah, ashwagandha, that's a perfect one. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was good. All right. So as a tea, so remember this as we go in, how are we going to use ashwagandha? Okay. So there's several ways. There's supplement, tincture, right? Tincture is the liquid, a little more intense that you put under your tongue. You have that, that's no big deal. Tastes a little, if you're not a taste person, maybe the supplement's better. Tea, remember when you do it, it's very nice because you start with a nice tea and it tells you how your body's going to respond, right? That's what I love the most about a tea introduction. But you're going to have to do a lot of tea to get what they call like a therapeutic dose. Okay. So that's a big deal on using tea. If it's effective, then maybe you're going to a supplement or what they call a tincture. Okay. So they recommend for the therapeutic dose is between 300 and 600 milligrams a day for about 10 weeks. Okay. So, and then it will you'll start to notice that situation start happening for you. Okay. And so when you're looking at a good ashwagandha, that is a really good, starter point for you. So remember that as we go. This isn't all set in stone. You can take more, but at the same time, why? Let's see what you do over those 10 weeks and give yourself 10 weeks. That's the other thing. Give yourself 10 weeks. You'll notice a difference earlier than you think, but still finish that, right? So that'll be good. All right. Well, and then we talked about this. Why does it fit into the chiropractic lifestyle so much? Because we want to say that nature needs no help and no interference. Our stance will always be, especially tonight, our human bodies are made and designed to be perfect. From that perfection, things interfere with the perfection, and we are trying to get rid of that interference by allowing, like this ashwagandha, which is nice to kind of stimulate all those cells of the human body. You start to see those benefits. And so like when you take something, I always think of you're taking something positive versus, every time you take, I always think of positive, negative, right? So -1 would be something that you eat that's good for you. A positive or a -1 would be, something that wouldn't be any good. So if I drank a pop, that'd be a -1 to my overall health scenario. Okay. But a positive one gets you, gets you closer to where you want to be. So that is something to kind of think about. You're replacing this tea. Let's say for me, it's hilarious. I took it to my buddies where we were playing board games and they were making fun of me a little bit because I had tea instead of beer, pop, whatever. Right. But it's awesome. You still get a nice effect. It was a fun night. You make fun of me for a little bit, but I don't care. I'm going to make it through that. That's right. This way. But and we don't have to treat when we do this type of thing. When we take an ashwagandha, we try it. We're not taking something for something. So it also helps our mindset understand taking care of ourselves regardless of how I'm feeling. I'm feeling healthy, then I'm taking the ashwagandha anyway, even though there's nothing wrong with me. Does that make sense? So we start going down this health path. You don't work out because, your shoulder hurts. You work out because you want to feel good. And that's where you want to be at. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about some other ones. Some of these you ain't going to know, so don't worry about it. There's several, and you're going to remember a couple of these. So in the adaptogen world, there are others, okay? And they might not have as many effects as ashwagandha because of and a lot of times I believe they probably do, that ashwagandha has just been the one they put into a lot of studying. Okay. So when we look at these, just remember, these are other ones you can try, because there's one on this list is like my go-to, one of my favorites of all time. So Panics Ginseng is a really, really nice one. That's a good one as a tea, as a tincture, has a lot of good. You hear this one a lot in different herbal situations. So we won't go through all of them tonight because I don't want to keep you up all night. But this one I can't say, but Panics quinquefolis is another one. Rhodiola I've used. A lot of you won't know. So we went to like my last seminar down with Dr. Low Dog. We went through like herbal prescribing, which we had a case study, and then we had to prescribe what we would do for the patient. And it was phenomenal. Like a lot of times you're going to start with an adaptogen, and you're going to find one that fits really well. Okay. So like via taste or what is its strength. So each adaptogen has its strength. Now, ashwagandha has quite a bit in the sleep, de-stressing environment. Some of these other ones have different areas that they're stronger in. Erythrococcus is another huge one. Very common in a lot of places. So it looks like a huge word, but it's pretty good actually, as far as an overall. Glycyrrhiza is another fantastic one. These are all very, very cool. And a lot of times the tinctures, you can almost try them differently and then see which one you like, as you go too. So each one has a different area of like organs as well. And then my favorite. To this day, I think this is my favorite. It was one of my ones that I discovered years ago, and it's helped so much. It's astragalus. So astragalus, the reason I like this adaptogen so much is kind of the research I've done. So some of these adaptogens will also help you with this situation. In our society currently, our meat supply is usually packed full of estrogen. Okay. So estrogen hormones, shots, injections, processed food has a lot of estrogen dominant particles. What occurs though, when that happens, is you have an overload in estrogen. All of us have estrogen hormone within us, males and females. The difference is in the ratio. So what happens in males, your testosterone levels here, your estrogen levels here. A lot of times with the way we eat now and the stuff that's in our food, we bring this estrogen level too high, making this estrogen, the hormone level different, right? And so that creates a lot of problems, right? So they're getting pudgy, they have male issues, those kind of things, because the estrogen in their body's too high. Okay. So that's why, because the ratio's off. What happens in women is the estrogen gets risen up. And then because of that rise, because they're the other way, right? So they're their estrogen's higher than their testosterone. So all of a sudden their estrogen keeps rising away from their testosterone. That leads to a myriad of problems as well. The biggest one, weight gain. Because why do you give estrogen hormone in the first place to a cow? To make it gain weight. That's the entire reason you're doing it. So we sell our cows based on the weight. And because of that, we're going to fatten them up and get them as big as on the scale as you can for the price of the meat, which kind of sucks, but that's what we're into. So astragalus is known, and I think the other ones are too with the adaptogens. They are known for kind of encapsulating that extra estrogen and getting it out of the system. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I love that one. That was a Dr. Chi one. Man, he was sweet. I gotta go. That's another one me and you need to. Amy had met Dr. Chi. He's awesome too. So
Yeah.
fingernail and tongue analysis. I'd love to. He was in town one time, and Amy and I went to Lansing. I think that was pretty cool.
Me, you, and Emily, I think, went. Dr. Emily.
That's oh yeah. We all three went. That was sweet. Well, Stacy, thank you. I know we're on every Sunday night. Remember that. Sunday night at 8. Soon to be Wednesday night for another thing. It was good, but yeah. Amy, just listen. When you got a kid at the age of Sadie, she is a fly by night. So sometimes it's just me. Sometimes Amy will come on board, but we take what we can get. Isn't that right? And Sadie's she'll take it over from me at some point. She'll probably notice. That's what's crazy about kids. They remember this crap. Like later.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Dad. Ashwagandha is fantastic for all these different. That's what I think is so remarkable. Is like that it was good. So remember ashwagandha. Tonight was very good. Amy, you got anything?
No.
While Amy's talking, if there's any comments or questions, throw it in that little comment. I can read them over here. So Brian, thank you for the great stuff. I like that. Don't forget the Rumble channel, the prize inside. I'm growing that a little bit each time. I really the reason I like that one, our videos turn out really well on that. So
Good.
They look really clear. So I like that a lot. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight, I think.
Cool.
Oh yeah. And then we've done this. So get some tea. If you live in town, try to get to Horrocks, or another place called Apple Valley is another one. Full Script will have that on there if you want to do that. But if you're just shopping around, sometimes it's a really good. That Horrocks store is like awesome. But start with the tea. That's what I take most of the time. I don't even have the supplement, but I do that with the astragalus and the ashwagandha. You can get them in the little bags too. You don't have to be loose leaf all the time, right? So loose leaf is great, but I'd rather have you have the actual supplement, which is the little tea bags are just as good. Okay. So don't freak out that you got to have loose leaf. It just tastes better. And once you get used to tea, you're kind of digging that's why Amy's liking the loose leaf stuff too. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it does.
Have you tried their berry one? They got a berry one that's just fantastic. I cannot remember.
I had one that had like 3 or 4 different kind of berries in it. That's why I like the first time I had gone there were so many different kinds to try. But yeah, I'll go back in another week and see if they've replenished their stock.
Yeah. And Rachel makes fun of me because I was always the guy like on Friday night, grab a couple beers, whatever, right? Not a huge deal. I don't care either way. Sometimes, though, now it's like, what tea am I going to have while I'm playing? Like, it's crazy that Jeremy would do that. Nothing wrong with beer. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just like, but sometimes you just got a craving for it. And some of these, you're going to find that. Ashwagandha tea and astragalus tea are one of those where you're like, you kind of crave it. It doesn't knock you out like chamomile can or hops kind of can, right? Chamomile can knock your butt on the ground, like in a T form, if you're not careful, like if you're tired or something like that. It's very good sleep agent, but it's super smooth. So kids love it anyway. But but yeah, those kind of situations happen a lot. The ashwagandha can be that way though. Nice, level, doesn't make you foggy, nothing like that. So that was good. I know this one was for Gina. Good job, Gina, for bringing that up. I want to keep trying to get high topics of interest. So as you guys are watching this too, come back, comment in here on like new stuff that we could talk about. Don't bring up sleep apnea yet. I'm working on it. That one's taking me a lot, because if I figure that out, my video of 100 people will become a lot more.
Yeah.
So if we figure that one out, Amy, we'll go to Bermuda. We'll be videoing from somewhere else. That's
But on a beach somewhere.
That's right. All right, you guys. Well, have a great night, and it was good seeing all you.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
See ya. Bye.